delighted to be here with Anthony Kieran. Anthony Kieran is an entrepreneur and a student of life. He was in Pittsburgh on an Ireland Institute of Pittsburgh program with the International Fund for Ireland way back in 1991. And I asked Anthony and a number of other folks to talk to us about their experience in Pittsburgh and what they're up to these days, and just to get a sense of where are we now. So Anthony, if I can just start by saying thank you for joining in on the conversation today. And maybe you can just start off by telling me a little bit about the place that you're from in Ireland.
Thanks, Jimmy. It's great to talk to you again, and I'm delighted just to be part of this program. I grew up in South Armagh, about 3 miles away from Crossmaglen, so it was during the time of the Troubles. So Crossmaglen, Silver Bridge area is about maybe just halfway between Dublin and Belfast, so it's right on the border. So that's effectively where I grew up.
Right.
I went to school around there, all that kind of stuff. So
right. Tell me, what brought you to Pittsburgh way back then in '91?
A very lucky break that I got. I'd left Ireland, gone to university in Liverpool, and I got an opportunity then with the institute to come over for, I think it was about a 3-month program at that point. But it just aligned fantastically with my year out. So I did first year in university, and then I had a year out where you're supposed to go and work. I got an opportunity to go to Pittsburgh. I took it. The institute worked really well with me to secure the remainder of the 9 months that I needed to get in Pittsburgh. So I ended up staying for the full year in Pittsburgh that year in my Sandhurst University. So really a lucky break on my part, and what a great place to spend a year in. Pittsburgh was fantastic for me, especially at that age.
Right. If I was to ask you now, Anthony, and we'll get into what you're doing now, but if you could talk a little bit about what the Pittsburgh experience meant to you and how it's impacted you looking back at some 20, 30 years almost now.
Yeah, hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And I remember most of it fairly well. But how did it impact you?
Look, you Jimmy, you can't put it into words really. It was an unbelievable experience. At the time, I'd come from South Armagh, which was very much embroiled in the Troubles. It opened my eyes that the world's a very big place, and there's a lot of opportunity out there that if you can, I close-minded. By the time I got to Pittsburgh, I kind of had a view of the world, but it kind of really opened up all of my kind of opportunities.
Nice. That's a great testament to the I think to the city and to what it's done for countless hundreds, thousands even now that have come on.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing now?
Right now, I'm back in Ireland, and I have a number of companies here in operating out of Belfast. But we are we're not just limited here. We're all over Europe, and we've investing in companies now that are working in the States as well. So it's kind of almost come full circle, Jimmy, at this point,
A fantastic trajectory.
Yeah.
I know the answer to this, but what about married, kids? Can you talk about that?
But I met my wife when I was in DC, Andrea, and we have 2 boys, but they're 13 and 15 now, just turned, both of them. You might be able to see them on the...
Of course.
That's what they used to be like.
Right.
Way back many years ago. But we're living now. Andrea's working. She was Accenture. She's now working as the finance director for the whole group of companies. So,
very good.
And we go back to the States every year. I mean, we spend pretty much 4 or 5 weeks in the States. She gets to see her family, and I occasionally, I get to go back to Pittsburgh and go down to DC as well, and see all my friends and the people that I ran around with back in the day,
Right. You and I keep missing each other.
Yeah. The last time, I can't believe it, one night only in Johnny Young's house, up in Mount Washington, and a great night that we had. I saw a ton of people, but unfortunately, the main attraction just was double booked.
And I want to talk to you a little bit about long before you came to Pittsburgh, you were very much involved locally in your village and in South Armagh in the GAA.
Correct. Yes. I mean,
you played there, you played in Pittsburgh, you played in Washington, and now you maintain your involvement. It seems like the GAA is very much its own kind of broker. It opens many doors to many people. Can you talk about that a little bit?
It does, Jimmy. You know yourself. When I went to Pittsburgh, playing with both the Celtics and initially the Colin Kills, there was just a ready-made family there, and it was tremendous camaraderie. And you just think you play games in the burning heat out in the States, and it brings people together, and whether you win, lose, or draw. But and that continued when I went to DC. We ended up winning. Played with a few boys from Pittsburgh, but we won the North American Championships. And then I went on, and before I moved back to Ireland, I traveled around the world for a bit, and I played in New Zealand, again, brought into a club in New Zealand in Auckland, and I also played for a summer in Sydney. So, so it's
great. You can't get much further away than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you hitched the ride on that NASA trip.
That's right. I didn't improve though, Jimmy. No matter as far away as I got, I never got any better. That was the thing.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because speaking of not getting any better, you've managed though to maintain some level of fitness. You've run a marathon, maybe more than one. You've been involved. You've been involved in fitness over a long amount of time.
The last marathon I did was the Derry City Marathon.
Okay.
And it was great, but I have done New York and I've done Dublin as well.
So besides continuing to support the GAA and opening up companies at what appears to be at your will, what else is next for you? Anything else coming up? Any other interesting things that you want to pursue?
We have, I think.
Not that isn't enough, because that's plenty.
We're at a point now, we've created a company here in Belfast that's known throughout the north and right into the border counties, Used Cars NI, and we're expanding that and expanding different products underneath that are sold across Europe, and we're selling into eBay and that kind of stuff as well. They're going to take a product, an artificial intelligence product that we have. I'm really interested in refurbishment of buildings. So I've bought 2 buildings in Belfast, 2 old Georgian buildings. We were in the process of refurbishing those and creating 6 beautiful apartments. The COVID-19 pandemic obviously put that on hold for a while. Jamie, I'm sure you guys are suffering from it as well over there. But I think ultimately now what we're doing is we're investing in other companies but they're starting their companies themselves. And I try to, where possible, invest my time as well to give them a hand. In fact, I've tried to put a couple of them in touch with yourself as well.
Right.
Because they will need a US base eventually. And I can't think of a better place than Pittsburgh to explode their company across the States. So yeah, it's kind of interesting as well, and there's bumps in the road, as you can imagine, but really interesting, and I'm really loving what I'm doing at the minute, Jimmy, and please God it continues.
Yeah. Good man, Anthony. Listen, before we break and call it a night, any final words, thoughts, anything that you want to leave as a message to the people of Pittsburgh and to the friends here?
I don't know where I would start with that one, Jimmy. That's a tough question. I could be here all night with you.
Yeah.
Look, it was a fantastic opportunity that I got from the Institute in Pittsburgh. And I know it also was an amazing opportunity. There's people who live out in the States at the minute. Hugh Meehan comes to mind. Johnny Young, very successful guys who have benefited from that program. that we were all on. I think the people of Pittsburgh were fantastic, and there's too many of them really to start picking out.
Yeah.
But all of my friends that I made through the Celtics and the Colin Kills, the O'Donohues, the Conleys, Barkley, yourselves, Minox. Yeah. These people were really fantastic and instrumental. So, I mean, I would like to thank everyone, but also anyone who's thinking of going to the Institute and taking part in one of these programs. I would certainly encourage them to do so, because it certainly changed my life for the better, and it's a fantastic program. So congratulations, and keep going, keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks a lot, Anthony. Thanks for all your time. Thanks for answering all the questions so candidly and succinctly. I know we could be here all night if we wanted to, without a problem, and I'd really enjoy it. I hope I see you in Ireland before you see me here. I just love getting over there, and I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Look, thanks again, and have a safe and healthy next few weeks until we get the other side of COVID.
Right.